The Miami Dolphins have finally made a signing. Zach Wilson did not have the Dolphins signing a backup quarterback as their first free agency signing on my bingo card, but here we are after being live on the channel for nearly 6 hours and nothing happening. Chris Grier strikes with Zach Wilson, the former second overall pick out of BYU in the 2021 NFL Draft, and he is joining this team on a one-year, $6 million contract. It can get up to $10 million with incentives. Now, ideally, you don't have to worry about those incentives because Tua Tagovailoa plays all 17 games this year, and Wilson is just on the bench for every regular season game, and he just a one-year, $6 million contract. And I know some people out there might think that that's a pricey tag for a backup QB, but if you want a legit quarterback behind your starter, yeah, you're going to have to fork up at least $6 million. And although he has had struggles as a starter in the National Football League, you're getting a young player, someone with a lot of arm talent, a lot of hype around him coming into the league, and you are getting someone that if anyone can get him to be the best version of himself, I'm banking on Mike McDaniel to do that. A very easy scheme to join. You remember Mike McDaniel was still part of that 49ers offensive staff that traded up in the NFL draft to almost draft Zach Wilson. Remember, they traded up to 3 to where they drafted Trey Lance, but a lot of buzz was for them to move up and get maybe a Zach Wilson or a Mac Jones. They ended up taking Trey Lance, and Wilson ultimately finds his way to pair up with Mike McDaniel. We'll talk more about him and what this means for the Dolphins, plus more rumors surrounding this football team. But I want you guys to grade the signing. Get your red pens out. When you first saw the Zach Wilson to the Dolphins news, what was your grade? I want to know your thoughts, A, B, C, D, or F. I'm going B+. Listen, we have clamored as fans to sign a legit, talented backup quarterback in the NFL for the last 3 or 4 seasons. Because Skylar Thompson, Tim Boyle, and whoever has suited up behind Tua has simply not been it. And no matter what you want to say about Zach Wilson, the talent, the experience is worth a one-year, $6 million contract. He's been a starter for 3 seasons, backed up Bo Nix in 2024 for the Denver Broncos. But we know we have a lot of experience watching Zach Wilson play the Miami Dolphins, mostly because he was a Jet, obviously, in division. Yeah, he has struggled with accuracy and reading defenses, turning the ball over. But one thing you can always say about him is that he's able to make you be wowed. The way he is able to fit some balls in tight windows due to his arm strength is truly unbelievable. The way he's able to launch the ball 65, 70 yards downfield, he's got a cannon. And like I mentioned with the signing, I think if you're really going to try to swing on a high upside type of guy in NFL free agency to be your backup quarterback, and you bypass a veteran who's been around the block like a Gardner Minshew, like a Mariota, like a Carson Wentz. I like those 3. I like the experience and value he could bring, or those 3 could have brought. But when you think about it, we know what they are. Their ceilings are already met. They are not going to shock you. Zach Wilson provides you with a valued, experienced backup, but also someone to where if he finally understands it and finally gets it, the game slows down for him, and this coaching staff is able to work on his footwork, work on his processing, and get him to be a natural, accurate thrower of the football with the mindset that is correct. You're talking about someone who can absolutely transcend your football team. And I don't want to use this example and just make it seem like he is going to be some home run next-gen quarterback that's the future of this franchise because Tua stinks. No, but Sam Darnold did just revive his career with Kevin O'Connell. Similar traits here. Athletic, big arm, a lot of talent, was horrible with the Jets earlier in their career, bounced around a couple of football teams, and given the chance to start, Sam Darnold is now a big-time multi-year contract guy for the Seattle Seahawks and viewed as a starter in the league. Is the same thing going to happen with Zach Wilson? No, probably not, because Tua hopefully will stay healthy and Wilson will not be that guy. But there is always that slim 1% chance with Wilson being your backup quarterback rather than if you went with a Minshew or a true veteran like that. I would still expect Miami to draft a quarterback on day 3 of the draft. develop him behind Zach Wilson. It's like you're developing two guys, but Wilson is more experienced starter, or than the past that can be a backup. I like the signing of Zach Wilson. I will also speed through some other news and rumors surrounding the Dolphins. The other player that they've been heavily attached to is linebacker Dre Greenlaw from the San Francisco 49ers. Miami clearly wants to add to that off-ball linebacker 2 spot alongside Jordan Brooks. Dre Greenlaw is someone they are targeting, but if they cannot get Greenlaw, who seems to be on a different price point than Miami right now, Tyrell Dodson could still be re-signed. Josina Anderson having a tweet about Dre Greenlaw's market after the fact, saying that the teams that are interested in Greenlaw include the Broncos, Titans, Texans, and Cowboys, did not include Miami. Is that telling us that the Dolphins are already out of the bidding on Dre Greenlaw? Unsure if that's actually the case here, but I do think Greenlaw is an intriguing player, has dealt with injuries in the past, was a dominant top 5, top 10 linebacker in football in 2022 and 2023, working with Fred Warner in San Francisco, but had a torn Achilles in the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs in 2023, forced him to miss pretty much the entire 2024 season, and is now looking to get back to that top-tier form. The Dolphins obviously need to add a linebacker next to Jordan Brooks. Dre Greenlaw would be an excellent addition for this football team. You saw the statistics on screen just a second ago. This guy is an absolute machine. He's always around the football. If the Dolphins sign him, you are creating one of the best linebacker duos in football. Greenlaw and Warner were the best linebacker duo in football in 22 and 23 for the San Francisco 49ers. I'm not saying it would be the absolute best, but there is not 3 or 4 better linebacking duos out there in the National Football League. And we know under Anthony Weaver's defense, they want 2 linebackers. We consistently saw both Brooks and Walker over the middle of the field, David Long Jr. and Brooks, a little Tyrell Dodson at the end. I think it would be fun, but I will say this, folks. It's one thing that's been clear so far in free agency. Chris Grier and the Dolphins will not overspend. They have a budget that they've set themselves. They are going bargain shopping, and they are not going to overspend in a bidding war. If Greenlaw's price comes down to the point that they're willing to offer, they will gladly take Dre Greenlaw. But they are not going to increase their offer because other teams are interested. They will turn their attention somewhere else, even though Dre Greenlaw would be pretty fun. All right, we're going to take a look at more free agents stuff here on the Dolphins, but we are sponsored by Mando, the #1 whole body deodorant, and we got a great deal for y'all. But it is springtime, and Mando, make sure you're in the right cement. Mando's whole body deodorant gives me confidence when I leave the house. Mando is safe to use anywhere on your body. It's created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO is being misdiagnosed and mistreated, clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. Mando Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, plus free shipping. I've got one of those items in studio with me right now, and it is the deodorant wipes. I love the deodorant wipes because I am always playing basketball, going golfing, traveling, running errands, and if there is ever a time in the day where I feel like I don't smell good, well, these things come super duper in handy. And we got a great deal for all the Dolphins fans. Special offer. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code CHAT. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack when you use code CHAT at shopmando.com. shopmando.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando. All right, I did want to go through some of the free agent signings so far that have not been with the Miami Dolphins because Miami's only made one. And I wanted to start with Patrick McCarry because he signed a 3-year, $37.5 million deal with the Jaguars, one of my highest, graded free agent target for the Fins, a versatile offensive lineman. He signed for about $13 million per season. That's what the maximum value is. I thought that was a really good deal. I have always said when it comes to the Dolphins and the interior offensive line, they should sign one cheap free agent to a 1-year deal worth $8 million or two for 15, and then they should invest in a multi-year contract guy that's making 3 for 42, 3 for 35, somewhere in that range. I thought Makari, I would have absolutely given out that contract to slot him in as your starting left guard or right guard this upcoming year. That's a devastating one off of the board. Another offensive guard off the board, Aaron Banks, getting a massive contract from the Green Bay Packers, leaving San Francisco. It hurt in the moment. We reacted live to that signing, but after seeing the price tag and what Banks got up front from the Packers, I would say, yeah, Miami's never going to give him that deal. So that one's kind of a non-starter. Then you also see Laramie Tunsil get traded to the Commanders. Never thought that was on my radar, but he gets dealt. But I wanted to mention Jeremy Chinn and a couple of the other safeties. Chinn goes to the Raiders on a 2-year, $16 million deal. Trayvon Moore goes to the Panthers on a 3 for 51 deal. Talawanu Funga goes to the Broncos on a 3 for 45. And we saw Cam Bynum go to the Colts on a 4 for $60 million deal. So 4 top safeties off the board. Kind of disappointed Jeremy Chinn wasn't signed by Miami for that price tag. That's a really good price. But Javon Holland remains out there as of right now, if filming at least. And some of these other safeties are still out there too. Julian Blackmon, Andre Sisco. We'll let you know about more of those guys here in just a second. But when the Dolphins make another move, we will have you covered with a video. Making a video right now on Zach Wilson. If the Dolphins sign anyone tonight, we'll have you covered. Sign anyone tomorrow, we'll have you covered. Make sure you're subscribed because we have everything you need surrounding the Miami Dolphins. All right, I did want to close out the show with some of the top interior offensive line targets and other targets still out there as of filming. Listen, as bad as it was with Makari and Banks off the board, 3 of my top 5 guys are still there. Mekhi Becton, James Daniels, and Will Fries. I'll add Kevin Zeitler and Tevin Jenkins in that top 5 group. I think Brandon Scherf, the veteran from Jacksonville, could also be that 6th guy, if you will. I really still think Miami should take a look at Fries or Daniels, 2 really good players that fit their zone run blocking scheme. But these 5 still out there at the time of filming. At safety, Justin Reed, Julian Blackmon, Andre Sisco, the 3 guys that remain from my top 5 safety targets for the Dolphins. So the Dolphins could go out and still sign a Blackmon or a Sisco that I really like, or spend a little bit more on Justin Reed. I'll add Justin Simmons and Javon Holland to this list because Holland's price point may be coming down slightly with Panthers out of the mix, with the Colts out of the mix, with the Raiders out of the mix. Like, if there's teams not bidding for Holland and his price point becomes $15 million, Miami has interest in bringing him back for the right price. If he's available for $15 per season, I would absolutely sign him back on that Cam Bynum 4 for $60 deal. But Justin Simmons is another cheap option, but I would like to invest in a younger multi-year guy and then draft one as well. So I'm lower on Simmons out of anyone on this list, but there are still some top guys out there. And then on the defensive line, couple guys off the board in Sebastian Joseph Day and B.J. Hill, but Jonathan Allen, Calais Campbell, and Javon Hargrave all still available in NFL free agency. Allen visiting the Vikings today. Campbell, dead silent. Hargrave, dead silent. We'll ultimately see what happens with these 3, but I would anticipate Miami making a hard push at all 3 of these guys, at least trying to get one of them. All right, after seeing some of the top free agents still available at those key positions Miami's mentioned, who do you want the Dolphins to sign next? They finally make a move in free agency with quarterback Zach Wilson, 1-year, $6 million deal, up to $10 million. They have their backup quarterback behind Tua for the future, at least this season. They'll probably draft one as well. Drop who you want the Dolphins to sign next in the comments. And make sure you are subscribed because, as I mentioned just a few minutes ago, when the Dolphins make another signing, we will have you covered with a video. Hit that sub button. Lock us in for the top coverage on YouTube surrounding the Miami Dolphins.